Okay, Julie
Okay.
Lyons, Lyons.
Mhm.
I'm from Selma, Alabama. And like many people, I grew up here
Mhm.
and I left and I came back. And now I'm not going anywhere because
Nice.
it's home.
Absolutely.
And so proud to be from here.
Okay. And then, kind of, what do you do around here in terms of maybe title or?
Okay, well, currently I'm the president of the Selma Dallas County Historic Preservation Society.
Okay.
It's a 52-year-old organization.
Mhm.
And like every organization, we're in the process of evolving,
Absolutely.
and which is always good. But we take care of a couple of historic properties that we own, and then we try to facilitate throughout the county and the community good preservation practices. You know, we try to help people find grants and contractors and those types of things.
Absolutely.
And pretty much anything about history.
Mhm.
And in Dallas County, we're here to either offer our support or help them find the answers, or get a group of people to go find the information.
Absolutely. Help where you can.
Yeah, help where we can, and it's open to anybody who is a reputable human being that wants to learn more about their local history.
Cool.
But my background is I'm an archaeologist.
Okay.
I work for the state of Alabama
Okay.
and at Old Cahaba.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
So that's where I spent a good portion. What's kind of what brought me back to Selma is to be able to work in my home community,
For sure.
doing something that I was trying to do.
Mhm.
So that's kind of the background.
What was it kind of like growing up here in Selma, Dallas County? Or,
I was lucky. I grew up during what I still call the glory days, in the 70s and early 80s. And it was just much like it's been for probably forever.
Yeah.
My granddad was a cattle farmer. My family's tied to the land. I'm a seventh generation Dallas Countian. And my grandparents and great grandparents made sure that we knew the family history and the local history. We went to the churches on homecoming weekends.
Oh, yeah.
We took care of the graves and the cemeteries.
Mhm.
And they kind of, instilled those values in me
Absolutely.
early.
Respect for it. Yeah.
Respect for the land, respect for your community and your neighbors, and just to make the best of what you have.
Absolutely.
And, to, like we were talking about, conservation versus environmentalism is a very different kind of practice, because it truly is preserving and caring for the environment around you.
Absolutely.
And so that's kind of how I was brought up.
Could you tell me a little bit about Keenan's Mill on the record here?
Yeah, Keenan's Mill is a beautiful place, one of Selma's hidden gems, or actually it's in Valley Grande, even though we're a mile from McDonald's in Selma.
Yeah.
It's small, communities, we butt up against each other. And the site itself still contains a mill built in 1862. It witnessed the Battle of Selma. It went on to grow and change with the community, and everybody has to eat.
Yeah.
Everybody ate corn, or their horses ate corn. I mean, grits.
Yeah.
Think grits and
Absolutely.
hominy and all those kind of things, cornmeal and those kind of things that we all, everybody in the community,
it's
black,
crucial.
white, whoever,
Mm-hmm.
took advantage of. And because this is a farming, first and foremost, we're a farming community,
Yeah.
and people lose sight of that.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the original purpose when people came here, was agriculture.
Yeah.
It was the soil that brought people here.
Yeah.
And when people talk about the Black Belt,
Mm-hmm.
they have to understand that it's a very unique geological feature that you can literally see from space.
Yeah.
And it is a super rich soil that grows anything. And when, Alabama was opened up first as a territory and then as a state, it drew all the farmers.
Yeah.
And we're still that to a large degree. and and then the hunting and the fishing and all those kind of things. Back then, it was subsistence.
Yeah.
Today, it's entertainment.
Yeah,
It's,
well,
it's
recreational.
It's recreational, and but yet it's still all tied back to the same thing, the land. And we're blessed with abundant resources. And Valley Creek was a wonderful resource, which is why the mill is here.
Yeah.
And it's still water powered, even though we have a modern 1904 turbine system, which replaced the old wheel. And the mill ground corn for the community up until the 1960s.
Yeah.
And since then, it's been, a little bit of a lover's lane,
Yeah.
a place for teenagers to come hang out. And the Keenan family, who's owned this land since around 1830, always let people use the land in a way, and they were very gracious and generous in sharing their resources with the community. They had fishing ponds and those kind of things too. So when I grew up, it was just a rite of passage.
Yeah.
To come out here and spend time at the mill and have picnics and just be kids.
Absolutely.
And so it's a real big part of the way we grew up. And Selma, like I said, during that time, the Craig Air Force Base was still here. It was still a large population. We had everything.
Yeah.
We really did. We didn't have to leave.
Yeah.
Because we had everything. And of course, the last 40 years, Selma's taken a beating.
Yeah.
But I tell people all the time, it's not just us.
Yeah, that's everywhere.
It's every small town in America.
Rural Alabama, especially.
Yeah. And rural America has taken a beating, but hopefully we'll be able to turn it around. And because we have a lot to offer.
Absolutely.
We really do.
That kind of leads to the next one. What makes this place so special, in your opinion?
Again, I think it's the land and the sense of place.
Yeah.
And for people, today, again, we live in a different world. People are much more transient.
Yeah.
And they move around. But to say I'm a 7th generation Dallas Countian, and that I knew my grandparents, my great-grandparents, and the stories of the people that came before me is special. And it keeps me grounded in a way.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people don't have. I know exactly who I am, where I came from.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to help other people find the same stories.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I like to do. I meet all kind of people doing genealogy, researching, where their families came from. In the black community, they we have a name of a plantation, but we have no idea where it was.
Yeah.
So we try to help them find those places and connect them to their stories.
Absolutely.
And I think we're all looking for that.
Yeah.
We live in such a chaotic world now. I think everybody wants to have some roots.
Yeah.
And something to hold on to. So the history, the preservation, I think that's what keeps me fascinated with, what I do and living here. And, I always tell people, they say, why are you still live in Selma? You're retired now. Why didn't you move out?
Yeah.
It's like, well, man, I want to travel. I know how to get to an airport.
That's right.
I can travel anywhere I want to.
Yeah.
But I can live day to day with people I've known and, the things that I'm comfortable with. And there's always something new to learn.
Yeah.
I'm always digging in a little deeper.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm perfectly happy right here.
Wonderful. Do you have any, I guess maybe concerns about your community in terms of maybe the future or no?
I think it's hard not to be concerned.
Yeah.
We've seen dramatic changes in Selma since my generation grew up.
For sure.
The last 40 years. The industry went away.
Yeah.
And the people followed.
Yeah.
And now, and plus too, diversity has changed so much. The demographics have changed. And that's not a bad thing, but it is changed.
Yeah.
And people have to learn to work together.
Absolutely.
And find out, again, what makes us special, what makes us unique. and what can we do for our community here.
Yeah.
And people in Selma talk a lot about unity, but we still struggle with that.
Absolutely.
And I laugh. The city motto is Civil War to Civil Rights, but sometimes it feels like Civil War versus Civil Rights.
Yeah, it can only be one or the other.
Right.
Versus the
Yeah.
whole. Yeah.
And we need to look at the whole picture. And good, bad, or ugly, just like everybody else in America or
Yeah.
everybody else in the world,
Yeah.
we have to embrace our history and use it as a catalyst
Absolutely.
of what to change,
Yeah.
what to keep, what to throw away,
Mm-hmm.
and what to go out and find and build on.
For sure.
So, that's where we're at. Don't believe all the stories you hear about Selma being a bad place,
Yeah.
A dangerous place.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are easily picked on,
Mm-hmm.
and we do have our problems, but we also have a lot of great people
For sure.
who have, a heart for this community. And our history is a history of rise and fall.
Yeah.
We've risen from the ashes more than once,
Yeah.
and I think we'll continue to do so because, again, the land supports this. The natural resources are abundant,
Yeah.
and they're not going anywhere, so
Nice.
we shouldn't either.
Yeah. Awesome. Perfect. Let's see. I guess in terms of like a personal legacy, how would you maybe want to be remembered in terms of the work you do here for your community?
That's an interesting question. I'm a big family person.
Yeah.
So I want my family to take the stories. I've been trying to uncover stories through
Yeah.
genealogical and historical research
Yeah.
personally, but they're also a part of this community.
For sure.
Everybody says, oh, well, I know my personal history. Well, if you know your personal history, you know your larger community's history by and large, because we're all not that different.
Yeah.
And so if we can just continue to appreciate
Yeah.
the past, hold on to the past. Progress is not always a good thing. Some people think, I always ask people when they're talking about progress and we need to change this and we need to update this, we need to tear down that. I'm
Yeah.
like, what are you progressing to?
Absolutely.
Do you have a vision for that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And, so I would just hope that I would leave enough of a legacy behind for people to consider saving what we already have, appreciating what we've always had, and sharing that with future generations so that they can enjoy it too.
Nice. Perfect. Is there anything maybe you'd like to just let people know about, Selma, Dallas County in general? Anything else you'd like to kind of add there?
Oh, Selma and Dallas County, when people say Selma, in my brain, I see all of Dallas County.
Same.
It's all a package deal, and we're all intermarried and intermingled forever.
Yeah.
And so come and explore all these little hidden gems. If you like barbecue, oh my God, this is barbecue heaven down here.
It doesn't get any better. Yeah.
It doesn't get any better. And, when people say, oh, I love barbecue, I'm like, what kind?
Yeah.
We got Carolina barbecue. We got, deep South barbecue. We got Texas barbecue. We got any kind of barbecue. You want it sweet, you want it hot, you want it vinegary.
Yeah.
We got it all. So it's, lots of great food here. A good thing about a farming community,
Yeah. They know how to eat.
we know how to eat. That's kind of the basis of it. So
Oh, yeah.
we have lots of good places. And then Old Cahaba,
Yeah.
Alabama's first state capital.
Yeah.
It is a treasure. And it's right there at the confluence of the Cahaba and the Alabama rivers.
Yeah.
And the rivers are what made Alabama.
The lifeblood of
It is
the
our
state.
lifeblood.
Yeah.
It is. And, we still have more diversity. We're basically the United States rainforest.
Absolutely.
Down
America's
here.
Amazon. Yeah.
We are America's Amazon. And if you are into environmental, biological, any of that kind of stuff, this is heaven. We got great places to kayak and canoe, great places to hunt and fish, great antique shops everywhere, Orville, right outside of Cahaba. Oh man, you need to come to Orville on a Thursday afternoon and have lunch at the farmer's market.
Okay.
And then shop at the little antique show stores down there. Then go have homemade dessert at this new little place called On 22. And you can spend a whole day
Yeah.
in Orville, which is, I think, a community of less than 1,000 people.
Oh wow.
And it's vibrant and has all the cool stuff. Same for Plantersville and Carnival and all these little towns in Dallas County. Valley Grande, which is growing by leaps and bounds. The past and the present, we're just still intermingled, and you can't get away from it. Well, why would you want to?
That's perfect.